waiting around. So I figure I'd go live now before the bike time. It's already 6:15. What do we want to talk about? What do we want to talk about today? Maybe leadership. I used to be one of those people that followed the fold and did what I was supposed to do. I still do. Getting over that. But, having a routine, listening to audios and podcasts and reading all the books. And then I realized a lot of the people were saying the same things, claiming it as their own and regurgitating. I mean, sometimes if someone says something and they say it over and over again, you miss it until it lands, or you need someone else to say the same thing, but it hits you in a different way. Part of that, I think, is because lights are coming on. You're ready to receive whatever the teaching is. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is truly ready, the teacher will disappear. And then I stopped. I stopped looking for the next idea and lesson in all these books. I stopped listening to podcasts and videos and all that stuff. For whatever reason. I mentioned the regurgitation of fluff, which sometimes repetition, and it kind of ingrains itself into you, practice. And at the same time, some of those people evolved and just started selling. And at first I became fascinated with it, see funnels and procedures and all the different things. But it got to the point where it's like, this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. And it doesn't feel right. And then you are on a hamster wheel, trying to find the next thing that'll work for you because this thing didn't work and you got to fix yourself. And I guess that is the cool thing about not having any money and being broke and not having anything, is that you're not swayed into purchasing XYZ because your next goal is just to find where you're going to get from here to there or where your next meal is coming from. So there's that. But then there are certain events that you really wish you could go to, but you're finding a way. Because it's not just, I'm going on tangent for a second. It's not just the money. It's the experiences you can experience should you pay for it yourself. Excuse me. But we get to remember, that money comes in different forms. Someone can pay for your meal. Someone could buy you gas. Someone can give you a gift. These are all forms of experiences rather than direct, here's $1, here's a penny, here's $100, here's $10,000, right? And we get to appreciate that. Back to where I was going about listening and reading and all that stuff. Well, I've become very selective on what I read and if I do listen to any podcasts. The tones of voice, how they go. I usually 2x the speed as well, which is another reason why I'm not a big fan of some live things, because when you get lost in the sauce and something that can be 10 minutes is drawn out into 20, 30 60, 90. Whereas if you watch a replay, you can often speed through it or 2x the speed and whatever. But very selective on what I'm listening to, which can be difficult when you're in certain environments and around real people that you're like, gotta walk away. And you can walk away and not apologize for it. And speak up and tell people to shut the F up. And just leave. Because that's appreciating yourself. Knowing when to remove yourself from wherever you are. If it feels ugh, or whatever label you want to put on it. And you get to skip through and pick what you want to listen to, because that is another reason why I started doing this, is not only in my head and also loud, but we have this access to these videos and whatever system. So as I'm speaking, I'm not speaking to out there, I'm speaking to myself, and I'm using another one of my senses to grow. Not only speaking it and catching whatever words I catch, whether I start to speed up or slow down, I'm also hearing what I'm saying and learning my lessons myself, or relearning and remembering and unlearning and understanding. Which is quite interesting phenomenon, if I do say so myself. And it gets to be that simple. We get to share and be useful. And then whether or not anybody hears any of this rambling, I heard it. And it starts with 1 and 2 and 3. And it starts with 1, and that 1 is always yourself. It always starts with you. Because you are all. Me, myself, and I is all there is. And anything out there is a reflection of some aspect of ourselves, including the trees, the cars, the sky. It's a reflection of us. So it looks like it's going to rain. I don't know if that's what's going on inside me. It likely is, because I've been feeling a lot and really don't want to be here. Really don't want to be here. But I must love it because I'm still here, even though I've done so many things to move. It's not working. Yeah, so when we share and with other people or ask for assistance and help and being useful, we're helping ourselves each and every moment. And those other people are placed there to reflect back to you what you are, or what you get to appreciate or change, and by appreciating it, it'll naturally go, because everything's constant source of change. You're helping yourself every time. Every time. You speak up, you step out, you're acknowledging yourself. You're becoming aware that you exist in each and every moment. Oh, it looks like a heart is coming out of the clouds. That's pretty neat. And 1 blinking light. Does a blinking light necessarily mean that it's running out of charge and is ready to die? I don't know. Funny things. And I've come to realize we don't know anything. And saying that as a doctor and a scientist and a researcher for almost 40 years, it's pretty big. Science-based research, and got to find double, triple, quadruple, quintessent blind studies, right? And if you do look into everything, you come to find that it splits 50-50 down the line. Even Steven. So now we don't really know anything. So you can, whatever you focus on, oh, it's this. This is how it works. But it's this, the opposite of this is how it works. Split. So does it work? It always works, but not always in the ways we think they work. So we don't know anything. We only think we do, and we've accepted. We've accepted a shit ton of bullshit about ourselves and the world as a whole. Fed into it. If you listen, oh, the light stopped blinking. Fed into it by news media that we created. Shows. I had a thought, and I can't remember what it is because I went off on another tangent. I don't know. Question for you as I interrupt the pause. How comfortable are you with being alone? How comfortable are you with sitting in silence? Do you rush to think of something to say? To fill the gap in the words? Or are you okay with sitting, standing, walking around in silence? I've noticed that it's never quite completely silent. If you're around a lot of traffic, you'll hear the cars. If there's a breeze, you can feel and hear it through the trees. If there's a woodpecker, or on a slow motion walk through the woods, you can actually hear ants scurrying. Have you ever heard an ant? That's how quiet it can be. Or a stream flowing. I invite you not to rush responses. I invite you to sit in silence or pause between your words. Whether it's like this or a chat with somebody, to actually listen, or a chat with somebody, to actually listen. More blinking lights. To actually listen. Not to respond, but to create. There was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it is. There's another lesson. you start to do something, get distracted, then you forget what you originally planned to do. Versus you forget what you originally planned to do. Versus focusing on a task and then move on to the next one. I'll tell you, multitasking queen. And you could think and believe you're getting everything done in the best way possible. Nope. No, you don't. I've been an endurance athlete nearly my entire life. I don't listen to music. If I start to get in my head, I count. And then the counting dissipates and it's a fog again. If you know you understand you understand the feeling. Explaining it can't be explained. It's a feeling, like most feelings. There are no words. It's just you feel it and you go. You move. Your body's meant to move. And you cycle through. Because moving is appreciating yourself and your body. Your body is meant to move. Whether it's raise your arm up and down. I'm sitting here right now. But walk around. I'm sitting here right now. But walk around. Wiggle your ears. Wiggle your nose. Capacity that you choose. And breaking an arm or a leg or choking someone unconscious. No, those things do not happen every day, but there's a risk in them happening. Arm or a leg or choking someone unconscious. No, those things do not happen every day, but there's a risk in them happening all the time. Getting used to all these interesting. Well, I think I'm done for now. If I pop back on, I will. Bye.